and gentlemen, I present to Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you America's top foundational health coach, Dr. Joe D.
Hey there, I'm Dr. Jody Bear, and I'm so delighted to come to you today on Life's Milkshake Moments. I've been saying this a lot lately. The milkshake, the ice cream, the sprinkles, the whipped cream, and the cherry on top. Well, when you can have a family affair, and that's what we've got today on Life's Milkshake Moment, how blessed I am. So I'm humbled that we could come and do this thing. I'm humbled that we could go ahead and say without a shadow of a doubt that we are that family of life is like a milkshake. You choose your ingredients wisely, and when you do, life will be oh so sweet. So we've got a show for you tonight, and it's going to be one to remember about the whole litany of what we've been doing with our book, what we've been doing with Health-a-Peaia, the foundations of health, what we've been doing here of just going ahead and making a difference. And that's what we do here. I'm Dr. Jody Bear. I didn't even introduce myself. I'm Dr. Jody Bear, known as America's top foundational health coach. And for nearly, it's in my fifth decade now, 43 years, I've taught people how to reclaim, regain, and recreate their life. 1.1 million pounds of toxic fat lost. And the good news is the next pounds can be yours. And the next pounds can be yours with, as we're passing the baton on to our wonderful brother duo and Ivan Jacobs for sure. Both, this is what I know, is that what we're doing here is of epic proportions because how we've reclaimed, regained, and restarted our lives with Vigard. When we reclaimed our lives with what we created, we didn't even have this panacea. Now we can say that over 100,000 lives during the COVID pandemic, the height of the pandemic, and now 3,000 of my client patients have reclaimed, restarted, and regained their health. And the next start can be yours. All you have to do is say it's possible. It's possible in those 6 pillars of health: spiritual, physical, mental, emotional, social, and financial. And this is what we did in the physical realm. When you'll hear our story, I can just say we created this from little Jody Bear. Started out that I could sing. Music was my talent, but health became my passion. Just as you're going to see towards the end of our program, a mother's love for her 2 sons. I've got 2 sons, and let me tell you, when that bun was in the oven, I was a mere 26-year-old young married woman. And I said, how can I have health? I'm going to put those additives and preservatives that were in the dining room table of something like La Leche League. It's a health thing. And I said, what am I going to do? Well, frankly, what I knew that I had to do is go ahead. And when I said they're going to put this in this, somebody called me on my deal. And guess what? I went ahead and said, I am going to put my money where my mouth is. I'm going to learn something about this thing called health. Little did I know, 43 years later, I would be creating something for the next generation. I'm humbled and honored to say that this has happened. And I'm humbled to say that it wasn't just by chance. Nothing happens by chance. Nothing happens by circumstance. It's in the creator of all, in his stance, that we create what we created here on Health Coach Jody, Foundational Health, Health-a-Peaia, and beyond. And that's what you're going to feel tonight. I can talk about it. I've always said from a 1984 gold card when I knew with my second son, then now a little health coach. And what happened? That little health coach with that one certification, and they gave that label to my son. And as I said, with Les Brown saying, your diagnosis is not your prognosis, they said he was ADHD. Well, the only thing that he had was me with testosterone. He was just a little more lively. And I said, I knew I'd have to find the answer. The answer was found on the Phil Donahue show, daytime TV. And what did Phil say? Phil said to Dr. Hulda Clark, 69 years young, and she said, what if these children do not have a disease, that it's not something that they have to live with their whole lives? What if they're just extraordinarily brilliant children that need to grow into their brilliance? I became like the female Indiana Jones. I was going to find this woman. When they said she was in Alpharetta, Georgia, I was living in Atlanta at the time in a suburb called Tucker. 1984, no GPS, no cell phone, no internet, no anything, but a burning desire. I was going to make a difference. You're going to hear that tonight, that burning desire of these young men. Here they are, these young men that had a burning desire to make a difference. That was what I was going to do for my son. Now, he was kind of cute. He had blonde hair and big aquamarine eyes. He goes, Mommy, what am I supposed to do here when we find this lady? We were going up and down the street, and my son does not know a stranger. And he said, this is what we can do. We're going to go ahead and see every person that has Birkenstock, sensible shoes, a woman that didn't dye her hair, somebody that looked like they were vegetarian. I was going to ask you, do you know who Dr. Hulda Clark is? That burning desire pushed us into that segment where, guess what? I knocked on her door, looked at my son and said, okay, when she opens up the door and I squeeze your shoulder, you just smile. And he just smiled. Dr. Clark came to the door and she said, I'm retired. I'm not taking any patients. When I said, I'd like to be seen by you. Squeezed my son's shoulder and I said, you will see him now, won't you? And she did. The rest is history. My son reclaimed his health because the body put in the right condition always, always, always can and will heal itself. Then what happened? I said to her, Dr. Clark, I want to be mentored by you. I'm in my young mid-20s. The oldest brother of this Gen Z brother duo is 23. I was 3 years older than him, and I said, but you will mentor me. She said, no, I'm not taking on. You see, I'm 70. Ladies and gentlemen, I turned 70 3 weeks ago. Why this is such a big deal with the 1984 gold card? Because I wrote on this gold card when I was 20, then 8 years old, had 2 years of studying with Dr. Hulda Clark. Why? Because I opened the door, and I opened the door to possibilities. And I said to her, what if I'm the person that will carry this message long after you're gone? What if I'm the person, Dr. Clark? Well, I believe these two young men are the essence of the Gen Z health movement that will carry this message on long after I'm gone. You see, it's a perpetual thing. So it is with great honor and great pleasure, before we come in to our time with the Gen Z inspirational, educational, motivational, and Health-a-Peaia extraordinaire, coming back from Boca Raton when they were in Boca with us. I will tell you, we will hear from Ivan, then we'll hear from Jeremiah Jacobs, and you know that name. That Jacobs name is embedded in my soul because they are the sons of the balanced Dr. Kim Jacobs and the Kim Jacobs Show, which I'm often on a consistent basis. Now, this is what I know, that you too can be that inspiration as we're thinking about what are you going to do to pay it forward. You will hear this, but you're going to hear about it after we just check in with one of our sponsors, which is my coffee. You got to have that alkaline coffee to stay well. You got to have that alkaline coffee so that you feel good as you can get. So let's check out and take a listen to Vibra 360. Absolutely. Vibra 360. I can tell you mushroom coffee, it's all about the shrooms. And I can say that as you saw those pictures in that first video and just the live camera of this was a product created, co-created, and I had much to do with this. So what I will say, get your alkaline going, get your energy flowing, and you will have vitality. Energy creates longevity. I guess I can now say at 70 years young, I'm living proof. So what I'm going to say, I'm going to welcome my other two set of grandsons to the stage right now. We're saying on spring break, Jeremiah and Ivan Jacobs. My goodness gracious. Hello. It's just like I'm going now to a virtual hug after I got a real hug from you in Boca. Welcome to Life's Milkshake Moments.
Well, thank you so much. First of all, it's been a pleasure, honestly, with everything you've been doing for us. I can't thank you enough, really.
Well, and I mean, just think of what this was, and I'm going to start, Jeremiah. I mean, let's just put it this way: Happy high school break. Are you a senior in high school this year?
Oh, I graduated 2 years early. Actually, I was homeschooled, so
because you're so brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean, you're just so brilliant. So I got it. So welcome to not spring break, welcome to spring break. And let's welcome to, as we say, Health-a-Peaia 365. We've become alive, but I'm going to start with you, Miss Ivan, because I'm just looking and I'm thinking about it, how far, not we've come, but how far you've come. Ivan Jacobs, how far you've come. Remember that first interview that you did on our TV show?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Think about how far when you say, I don't know whether I can be an author. I don't know. And I know. Now you can say, now you know. What is that from that first Mindset Monday to now? What's that been like for you, this journey?
Well, first I would say that honestly, it's been astounding, of course, the whole journey, but it's relating to your story, right? Honestly, how you mentioned mentorship.
Yes.
With the right mentor, you can do a lot more than you think you can do. So first of all, I want to thank you because while we were in Boca, Florida, you were there every step of the way. You made everything possible for us, and honestly, that's how I got to this point in my life right now is because of your help and your guidance. So thank you so much for that, first of all. And yeah, it's been a wonderful journey. So I can't begin to talk about how this has shaped, first of all, my brotherhood with Jeremiah and my relationship with my family as well. So thank you.
Well, you're welcome, because the pleasure was all mine. And I'll say, when I'm looking at your story in our book, and I'm looking at this story, and it says you're up on. Check this out in Numbers, the book of Numbers in the Old Testament.
Yes, ma'am.
You are on page 136. Okay, you put 1 plus 3 plus 6 is a perfect 10, and it comes back to that spiritual number 1. That just there are no coincidences, as Bernie Siegel says it. That was your number,
Yes, ma'am.
and you still hold the prize for the shortest time from concept writing your story to. I looked at that. I'm going. There are a couple of things, but virtually no edits. Congratulations. So I can see that the brilliance graduating 2 years early and seeing this brilliance with no editing, it's honestly the truth. So just get in the next 2 minutes or so about what you wrote about. And we're going to come full circle because I'm going to just throw it out right now that we are going to be doing a promo. We are going to be doing a promo for this. This is cystic fibrosis. We're going to keep bringing this up. Make sure you scan the code, put it in your phone, because this is what we're going to say when the body put in the right condition can and will heal itself for you and for all of you that do this. And so that's a lot of your story when I'm looking overcoming cystic fibrosis. And then we'll put, we'll just add the obesity. And yeah, guess what, Jeremiah? You know that your brother, Ivan, he's in here twice because he was a bestitarian. And so that picture certainly was a big deal of all of this as well. So Ivan, what do you want to share in a couple of minutes about your story and this writing?
Well, I won't go too in depth because, of course, I am one of the authors, and I thank God for that. But I want to talk about self-imposed limitations. You know, it's a change I changed my mindset, and I speak about that in my book, in the book, about how you can persevere whenever you realize it's possible to change. For a long time, I didn't know it was possible. I didn't know I could change my eating patterns. I didn't know that I could move more. I didn't know that I could do it because I had that back surgery. I had cystic fibrosis. I had so many things that were, you know, quote unquote limiting me. And honestly, when I made that change in my mentality, I was like, okay, now all I have to do is take the step, you know? And I started taking one step in front of the other. And now it led me all the way to the point where I'm here, all the way to the point where I'm actually an author in your book. And I've inspired, hopefully, other people with cystic fibrosis, also my younger siblings and anyone in my surrounding area. I get to help impact them. So it's been a blessing.
A total blessing. And so we're just going to kind of bump around. Jeremiah, I'm just going to say, first of all, when you walked in the room, I can tell you've learned a thing or two about, I don't know your father, but I only know your mother. But the way Kim Jacobs enters the room, I'll say the apples didn't fall far from the trees. Because when you two walked into the room, and everybody said, who are those two fine, handsome young gentlemen? So there you go. Don't you forget that Jews. So Jeremiah, what was it like? I think this like one of your first trips, like just the two of you? Or
Yeah.
have you done that before?
Oh, this was actually, I would say, the first trip that just me and Ivan went on. We usually travel with our whole family, and it's a very different experience.
I don't travel much.
Yeah, we don't.
I really don't.
So, because with cystic fibrosis, you need to carry around, a bunch of different medical equipment, and whenever you go into an airport with something that looks like a radiator or something, it can be a difficult experience. And I can say my dad and my mom, they got us through some tough times traveling because they could verbalize what the equipment is better. But with age, we've kind of learned more about our condition and how to work around it and still be able to live more than normal life.
So the two radiators. What's that, Ivan?
I said we live abundantly now. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
We live abundantly. So how is it like to get on the airplane with a radiator?
Well,
no,
it's not really a radiator. Yeah. It's just a joke. He said it's a shaky vest. It doesn't look good.
Yeah, it doesn't look the best to the TSA. It doesn't look the best to them, but it keeps us healthy. So we have to bring it around so we can do our treatments if anything pops up.
Right. And so you could say, hello, TSA, I'm not a terrorist. that kind
Yeah.
of thing.
Yeah.
And there you go. So you got through, you got to the hotel. We just had a fabulous time. But what did you experience when you walked into the room? You said, "We're here."
You know what? I felt family. I'll say
Oh,
that's my one word is family. Is it's really I never met so many people that care so much about me, you know. And you guys really opened your arms and received us, and it felt like a home away from home. So first of all, I want to thank all the authors, but also you for orchestrating it and putting it all together like that. It was amazing.
well, you can if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, do it together. We're
Yes,
family.
ma'am.
And so then you have the experience. And I said to your mom, because I didn't know you yet, Jeremiah. And by the way, you give as good a hug as your brother. So don't ever let him take that one away from you. I liked hugging you
Yes, sir.
equally as much. Okay. And when I said to your mom, Kim, I said, I just really feel with this condition, what I know we can do. I want you to just hear my words again. The body, put in any condition, can and will heal itself.
Yes.
You look at me, I was paralyzed from the shoulders on down at 24. I was 1 year older than you. And
Yeah.
that abundant mindset, I said, it's not a hospital, it's a hotel room. And I kept saying, I'm gonna check out of this hotel room. Obviously I did.
Yes,
Obviously
ma'am.
I did 6 months later, and I walked out of that hotel. And Jeremiah, I don't know whether you know that story about little Jody, who just had this debilitating accident, but it doesn't define you, as your Uncle Les Brown says. So I said to Kim, I said to your mom, the balance doctor, I just believe Ivan needs to meet Dr. Jim. What was that like to meet Dr. Jim, Ivan? Because you'd heard that name. And Jeremiah, guess what? This is what I'm going to say. Our Creator, our Savior says, abundantly above all we ask or think. I didn't know I was going to get 2 for 1. I was going to get the both of you.
Yes, sir.
So what was that like meeting Dr. Jim and hearing his wisdom about health?
Without some knowledge, you know, you can
Uh-oh, we're just freezing up here. I hope that is not Ivan, you may have to move your camera line a little bit. So we're going to take a break and watch
tell.
this video. Oh, there you are. You're back. Try it again.
And oh, there you go. I'm sorry about that.
Okay,
But
there we go. So back up. So my question was, we're fine. At live TV, you never know what's going to happen. But what was
yes,
it
ma'am.
like to meet Dr. Jim? Because you'd heard me talk about him so much.
Exactly. You spoke very highly of him. Honestly, I'd say he's one of a kind, you know, and I think that he was a great man to meet. And honestly, we've exchanged numbers. I'm gonna speak to him even more. He's really interested in cystic fibrosis and helping me find a cure. So I thank him so much, and I thank you for putting us into contact with each other.
So what did you think, Jeremiah, our Dr. Jim?
I was really intrigued by the things he was saying. He has a very eclectic type of just of information. He has so much to give, and I'm glad to be able to receive. And I really hope that I can still learn more from him after the event. And if any more events that we do attend, I hope to see him again and learn more from him and his son. They are very intellectual people. I didn't know people were actually scientists like they were in the movies. They were actually quoting like the things that you would see in like some piece of fiction. So
Yeah.
I really look forward to possibly meeting him again and learning more from him.
Oh, and we will. And think about it. Think about how yes, it wasn't science fiction, real life people, and we actually met an Einstein, didn't we? And Dr. Glenn Ryan. Didn't he look like Einstein?
Yeah,
he
he
did.
As we said together. So this is the last go around, and this will be officially retired. Check it out.
To get what we got. Because energy creates vitality, which transcends to longevity. We're living proof. Do what I do to get what I got. Be in Boca to find out the keys to your health kingdom.
So we found out the keys to our health kingdom, didn't we? And what was the one key, Ivan, that you felt that be in Boca? What was the one key that you came away with your health?
I would say the one key is, I would say uniformity. Honestly, I would say that, especially in that one, I don't know, I know that not everyone who's watching this has been there, but there's the one meditation circle that we've done together where everyone was in unison, you know? And I feel like once your body is aligned with your mind and your soul, I feel like everything moves in one direction.
Yes.
That's how you can heal yourself. In your case, that's how you can heal yourself from being paralyzed to how you are now, which is it's really crazy. It's amazing, and that's how we're gonna figure out this situation out with cystic fibrosis. You know, and
we are, and it's just one miracle away. And Jeremiah, how did you feel that one thing, that one nugget? You want what we have, do what we do. Because that be in Bokomo, because we're going to do it again for our next, with our next event, to be decided, of course. But we are going to be there, and be there in force, because you'll bring your tribe and whatever. But what is that one thing you said? Oh yeah, I got my money's worth coming down here, radiator and all, getting through TSA. It was worth the trip. Jeremiah, what would that be, son?
Well, I believe what it would be is, just the experience. I mean, getting to know the people that I met while I was down there, the experience of traveling with my brother solo for the first time, it was something that I wouldn't trade for anything. And to get to meet you in person for the first time, and it was very surreal. So I hope to be able to experience something like that again.
Oh, and we will together, because together everyone's achieves more. So just check out this code, scan this code, this QR code, which will get you to, it's Jeremiah and Ivan. I'm thinking you're doing it together. Maybe it's just Ivan, but you do everything together, you even talk together, it seems like. But scan this code and make sure, and it's a very long website, but I'm going to put it up anyway with what we've got here. But we've got this link. If you're just old school and you want to see this, take a picture of this, scan the QR code, take a screenshot of this, because what you've got here is Ivan is raising, is it $3,000?
Yes,
that is your
ma'am.
donate? And when is that? And when is that?
So it's $3,000, and the deadline is coming up actually pretty soon. It's in like May, so it's May 1st. I need to get that money as soon as possible so I can help find that cure for cystic fibrosis.
Yeah, and we're just going to say, the deadline is May 1st. There you go. And it's major, and I want to, it's Major Fit PT. What is your website, Ivan?
Oh, so my personal training business is Major PT, or majorpersonaltraining.com. And we have virtual trainers, and we help people with nutrition and weight loss.
Because guess what? I said, and I had it right, majorpt.com. I think that's what it is, because if I'm Hulda Clark's age now, I'm not really training health coaching clients anymore. Masa, pass them on to you. It's the same deal. Scan this code, do what we need to do, because why not just erase what we're talking through Boomer Esiason, the football player. How did he get involved with cystic fibrosis anyway?
It's a great question. So Boomer Esiason had a son, of course, Gunnar Esiason, and Gunnar is the one who had cystic fibrosis. So Boomer actually, helped fund this, made this foundation that could honestly help cure the, cystic fibrosis. So it was a family ordeal, and I'm grateful that they actually could bring me into this foundation as an ambassador and help raise these funds.
Well, you're a great ambassador. Jeremiah, what part do you play in this role?
So
are you the wingman here? I'm feeling it.
No, the part that I play inside this is, just trying to raise the funds. I'm currently not an ambassador for the Boomer Esiason Foundation, but, I still do have cystic fibrosis, and I still would love to, help my brother raise the funds, because, it helps everyone with CF, including my little sister that also has it, and everyone else out there that has it. Yes, ma'am. So, just if I can be here to support at all, I would, always take that opportunity to do that, and just see it through to the end.
Well, and you know who was in the comment section? I can't imagine Kim Jong. I'm just so proud of Ivan, and Jeremiah. Of course she is. Mama. Of course, I'm Mama Bear because of Jody Bear. But I mean, come on, that's just what it is. But it's going out there, being a part of life, and having life. I've shared this on my TV show, which I'm happy to say that next week it'll be 3 years on Traverse
3
TV.
years. Well, congratulations.
Yeah, I'm going, how did that happen? 9 shows a month, right? You just keep that daily thing going. And Ivan, so I know with myself, when you think about, I've had people ask me, and I'm going to just, do this parallel. When you have something that is, I'm going to say in your face debilitating. Let's just call it what it is. In your face debilitating. When I was paralyzed, it said, what's your day like? Well, if I had a sneeze, I couldn't wipe my nose. If I had to cry, somebody had to take care of my tears. And you're upside down, which guess what? When I finally turned right side up and they thought maybe she will walk, it was like a whole new view after 6 months. Mm-hmm. That whole deal. And so you don't, and I'm just kind of curious with myself. I remember that like it was yesterday. You just absolutely, you don't think of the whole thing. You just think a minute by minute, what's my next right thing? Sure. Is there a parallel with that, with let's say, with you with CF?
Well, I'm not going to say it's as bad as your situation. I don't think it can compare. Yours sounds much more dramatic. But in my case, yeah, I definitely agree that when I was 300 pounds, I had lower back surgery. I couldn't walk. I had cystic fibrosis, and it wasn't a good mix. Being so heavy with the lung condition that I wasn't really doing my treatments as much as I needed to do as well. It was just a bad situation, and I do remember that just like it was yesterday. But you're right. In that moment, it's kind of like tunnel vision. All you see is you in that moment. Like, what can I do in that moment to start changing? Because it's like you need to expand your mindset before you can start changing. Yeah, exactly. I wasn't in good shape.
We're doing low tech today because we had a little computer boot here. But isn't it fitting? I never saw this before, Ivan. Here's your picture of you with 300 pounds, and then your 6-pack abs. How much weight did you lose?
I lost in total. I lost 120 pounds.
120 pounds. But guess what recipe is across from this? Is my green miracle drink. It was a miracle. Think about this. It was a miracle that you came into this. Now, Jeremiah, how old were you when your older brother, you saw him go through this whole piece?
Oh, I was I would have had to have been like 14, probably 15 and a half, or somewhere around that age. And
so this is only 4 years ago. I mean, and what were your thoughts? And seeing him experience this?
Well, whenever I was about, around that age, I was also kind of clueless, and I didn't really know much about fitness at all. At that point in my life, I don't think I'd ever been in the gym really, unless I was forced or something because someone else would win. So I think whenever I saw him taking the initiative to, go to the gym to make his life better health-wise, and actually accepting the fact that he had CF, even though whenever I was younger, I was really not coming to terms with the fact that I had been diagnosed with the condition that needed to be taken care of. So seeing someone I look up to so much take initiative and getting ahead of the disease than rather letting the disease, creep up on him, that really made me also take initiative and made me want to go to the gym and take advantage of life and not wait around for something to happen to me.
Yes, grab onto it. Take advantage of life and take advantage of this experience. And with thinking about this, I knew one young lady who, this was, probably 20 years ago, that I helped her through her weight loss, Ivan.
Yeah.
And Jeremiah, you saw Ivan do this, and she was a Latina. Beautiful girl. She said, I just want to get rid of this taco butt because my taco butt is not helping out my lungs. And then she told me it was cystic fibrosis. My husband had a car accident. I met her in the hospital. And the next thing you know, she was in ICU herself. It happened just like that.
Just like that.
Have you had that just like that moment?
Well, Jemiah specifically, with cystic fibrosis, you can have sudden flare-ups, right? And it can happen. I think we were on the way to the gym actually.
Yeah.
And he said, I can't breathe. And I was like, what's going on? Do you need to go back home and do your treatments? No, he said, I need to, just give me a second. And we actually had to take him to the hospital.
Yeah.
So just like that, a flare up like that can occur, and something has to happen. You can't just be treatments. It's not gonna fix it.
So from that, that was a crazy experience. As well with your one that you had with football. Like there's certain different types of variants
like that.
So just like that, you can be doing something that you do often, because he played football often. He was always out on the field, and he would cramp up occasionally, but whenever you exert yourself just past that breaking point, especially with CF, it can have detrimental effects where you're in the hospital, not knowing what's going to happen to you next.
Yeah.
And the reason why I had the flare up the way I had it was because I was a lifeguard, and I didn't know, but being it was an indoor facility, and they turned up the heat inside the pool area, and it became like a sauna or a steam room, and
Sure.
I couldn't breathe while I was in there, and I didn't know the effects that would have on me in the next coming days. And I learned fast after that, and I ended up going to the hospital because of how steamy it was in the room, and you can't really be inside steam rooms whenever you get CF.
No, and I mean, and that, like, I can only say with having asthma. And back to Maria, and the question that I had, because I think this is education. I said this is Gen Z education, inspiration, motivation, and absolutely, elevation of awareness for CF today. You put your story of CF in Health-a-Peaia 365. I will say, what else is happening in May? We are doing our first New York Times bestseller launch, and we'll be down in Boca in Florida, and then we move to Denver, to LA, and to San Antonio, Texas. That's where we're going with the book launch. So think about this, Ivan, and think about this, Jeremiah. When you think, well, is it an African American disease? Boomer Esiason is Caucasian, all right? And then you've got Maria, who is a Latina. Would you educate our audience on that piece of CF? Does it discriminate towards race, or is it just across the board genetic?
So it's a great question. Cystic fibrosis does not discriminate whatsoever. So it's a Caucasian disease for the most part, but honestly, in our cases and in most minority cases, it goes under the radar. So I was diagnosed at almost 18 years old. He was diagnosed, at the same time I was, but for us, we didn't know we had the disease until later in life almost. So in many people's cases, they don't know that they have it, so they're not receiving the medications for the problem. And for a long time, I was like, is everyone having this shortness of breath? Is everyone, having this buildup of mucus? I played football. I was cramping, and I wasn't knowing why. And so many people just need help and need that information. I feel like that's why I feel like the cure is so critical, and we can help everyone across the board.
Without a doubt. And this is the good news. Good news, help is on the way. Because with Dr. Jim and his 5 elements of traditional Chinese medicine, okay, Dr. Jim is one of 5 people. I know I told this to your mama, and I see her backstage. Well, the balanced Dr. Mama Jacobs has arrived. She's arrived. And frankly, what we got with this is 5 doctors that are trained, that the planet Earth holds at any one time. I met a gentleman from China that has Dr. Jim's skill set. The other 3, well, I haven't had the pleasure, but guess what? We've got one right here. That's an airplane ride or a drive down. And when he said this, when I told him what you were doing, he said, we've got to showcase this, which we did in Boca. And we put it in our Health-a-Peaia thread and our Telegram thread. And we will continue to promote it out there as we move to May 1st. We're just going to say the deadline is May 1st to get and scan this QR code, because what we do is we take something good, we make it better and make it better and make it better. So scan this QR code. You notice, if you're just old school and said, I don't scan, well, here it is. That is Ivan Jacobs and his right wingman, Jeremiah Jacobs, helping him raise money for CF. And there's this code. You can take a screenshot, put it in there, and then the boomeresiasonfoundation.org. And so I can say that without a doubt, I'm just so grateful that we can do this together. And I'm so grateful that I get to just announce, and this is the first time we're seeing this video, that the Balance Doctor, Mama Jacobs, back in, and you know, she's always there supporting her. You know, she's good. She's good. Thank you, Kim. I went ahead, and what I had was a QR code, but now guess what? I've got the donation link. Isn't she amazing? I mean, come on, Ivan, Jeremiah, isn't she amazing? She's always right there. Isn't she?
There's no one like her.
I mean, I just wanna say that it's like that song, because you know I sing, isn't she lovely? Oh yeah, isn't she wonderful? Oh yeah, that's Kim Jacobs, Mama Jacobs. So what I will say is that I'm so grateful that we're doing this together with the Essence of the Woman, our next book that we're now in production with our launch, and what we're doing here with bringing this to life. Our launch date is August 8th, so 8/8/24, and we're doing our next Health-a-Peaia book, The Essence of a Woman, with none other than Dr. Khalila Camacho Ali, an extraordinary woman, the wife and former wife of Muhammad Ali. Let's take a look, take a feel, take a listen.
Former wife of Muhammad Ali. Academy Award-winning actress, author, motivational speaker, aviator and filmmaker, humanitarian, martial arts third-degree black belt. Dr. Khalila Camacho Ali, our anchor author for The Essence of a Woman.
So all I'm going to say is, along with Dr. Khalila Camacho Ali, and yes, we have 2 spots left, then we'll have our 40 authors. Move over, Dr. Khalila, because Kim Jacobs is in the book, and Kim Jacobs is in the room, and Kim Jacobs is the great, I will say, Balance Doctor, Mama Bear. I'll use my name, Bear Jacobs, that here she is. And Kim Jacobs, could you be any more proud of these 2 fine men? But you birthed them.
Be more proud. I'm so honored.
You birthed them, and the way they held their own. So Ivan, what does it feel like to have your mama be in the stage with you right here, right now?
It feels wonderful. I mean, I can't express how much my mom means to me. She's truly one of a kind, and without her, I wouldn't be who I am today. So I thank you for making this a possibility.
And Jeremiah, guess what? I always see the best for last. Go for it, young man.
Well, I can't even. It's my mom. I wouldn't be the same without her love and her compassion, and how much she's helped me throughout my whole life, and how much she's guided me. Her kindness had the best impact on my life. I don't think I would be the same at all without her here, and she continues to help me to this day. And if I ever have a problem or anything that I need to talk to, I know I have someone in my corner at all times.
the listening balance doctor. Think about all 5. See, that's the 5. Have you ever thought about that, Kim? There's 5 elements of Chinese medicine. Well, you have the 5 elements.
Oh my God.
I mean, there we go. So to hear those words, I'm telling you, yeah, y'all, you can watch this show and you can just, what is this, a family affair? Yes, it is. Because what you said, Ivan, about what you felt in Boca was a family. And I remember when you reached out to me, Kim, and said, we're going to pull this off. How did that feel to have the support for Ivan? And like I said, we got 2 for 1.
Yeah. You talking to me, Kim?
Yes,
okay.
ma'am.
Yeah, you know what? First of all, I'm honored to be your friend, Dr. Jody Bear. Thank you so much for having me. And to be the mother of these 2 young men is the greatest blessing that God could ever give me as a mother, to choose me to be their mom. I can't even put it into words because there are no words to describe it. As far as for the Boca Raton experience, when we had Ivan become an author in the book, the youngest author to be specific, if I'm not mistaken, You're the youngest author in the book. And
page 136, here he is.
So Ivan, I thought that was something that really pushed him out of his comfort zone, but he's such a brilliant young man and has such a wealth of knowledge to share with people that I was really excited that he took this step to be able to be a part of the whole project. And I thank everyone on your team that helped to make this become a reality for them.
My wing woman, Melanie Summers, we did, and it was just a wonderful thing, and our author in her own right. But I'll tell you, Kim, guess what? I know why I have such an affinity for your son. So plug your ears, boys. Let me tell you something. My oldest grandsons are 23 and 19. That's what it is. It's about that age of that number. When Kim, I want to honor you about one thing that I've already said. So y'all, if you want to fast forward on this, I don't care. We're just having a family affair here.
Right.
When what they learned from you, the apple does not fall far from the tree. When those men walked into that room, into that ballroom, everybody said, who is those men? Who are they? Guess where that comes from? I'm looking at her. Kim,
they teach me some wonderful things too, believe it or not. We have family meetings, Dr. Jody Bear. And what happens is we're sharing resources and tips and things that we've learned throughout the week. And I learned so much from my children, all of them collectively, things I probably would have never even experienced until we have those family moments.
And I know I've been taking a hiatus because of all this. Next time I'm on Freestyle Fridays, the Kim Jacobs Show. This beast of a woman, talking about 5 children, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, she does this show. Now, I do 9 a month, and that's enough. She does, what did I say, 5? It's something like Monday through Friday, 5, and your 5 children. And we're going to talk about is the 5 elements of traditional Chinese medicine, because I see your children in each of these 5. Because I know them so well. So there's a synchronicity with this. And now where we're going to New York Times bestseller, we'll have this rinse, repeat done now. And we'll have this so streamlined with an essence of the woman. I just want to say thank you. I'm glad that I got you for 3 more months that we're doing this with Dr. Kalila. And I'm so glad that you spend the time. Ivan, Jeremiah, Ivan, does this not sound like your mother? But I'll be just a little bit late. And she texts me like, yeah, Kim, I know you're not going to be there at 12 o'clock because you've got your throngs with your TV show. And then you come on. It's amazing what you do, and you do it with such ease. And I'm so happy. And how does it feel like, Ivan, I got to just, you could say, okay, I'm going to start with you, Jeremiah, this time. I'm going to switch it up here. So when your mom speaks at the symposium routine, you said, well, Mama, we've already been there. We got to give you some tips, just like you've had those weekly meetings. How's that going to feel? Because we've already been to Dr. Jody and Dr. Jim's event. How's that going to make you feel, Jeremiah?
Oh, I'm gonna be there, and I'm gonna be very excited to see how it goes. And I would feel very happy to know my mom is able to share her knowledge to a vast amount of people as well.
And Ivan was saying that mom, this is what Dr. Jody wants in that chapter now. So you're going to be able to give her some advice now, aren't you, Ivan?
Yes, ma'am, I definitely will. And I know that my mom really wanted to go to Boca, so she's going to have a wonderful time. And if I can share anything with her that will help her, I'd be blessed to do that.
It will be a true family affair. I mean, Kim, you've written in like a gazillion anthologies. You've written a gazillion books, not a gazillion, but you've run it all. You're an accomplished author. And that's why I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart that you chose to be with me. I'm humbled. I'm humbled that our Uncle Les Brown, when I saw now, Jeremiah, Ivan, you don't know this story as we wind up this time together. You don't know this story. Your mother, when I was coaching with Les in, you know, that was 2021. It's been almost 4 years, 3 years-ish. And I saw your mom with that red and those layered lips. I thought, I'm with this woman. I'm on her show. I said, and we've been hooked up ever since then, Kim, haven't we?
Yes, we have. Yes.
It's
been an honor and a privilege.
That energetic energy flows where frequency goes. And it's that spiritual energy that we just had a connectivity. And I remember that first time I was on your show, I went, she is somebody. I gotta get myself like together here. You know, I remember feeling that way. But yet you made me feel so at ease. And I've learned so much from you and just the way you just have grace and ease to go through this. Like I said, check out the Kim Jacobs Show, 11 o'clock Eastern. Every single Monday through Friday. She is there. She is there. She is there. And we're going to be there together because I mean, this is the last question I have for you. And then we'll do a round table. Jeremiah and Ivan, and I guess, why did you say yes to being in the essence of a woman? You already know Kalila Camacho. You already know Samaya Brown. That wasn't really the reason. But what made you say yes?
What made me say yes is because I believe that you have handled my son, Ivan, very delicately throughout the process of helping him become a first-time author. And so I felt like this would be an honor and a privilege to be attached to anything that Dr. Jody Bear is a part of and spearheading. As the visionary author, I want to be in some type of anthology or project.
Yes, and it's the essence.
That you and I have.
I'm sorry.
Try that again, Doug. You know, it's like this StreamYard that decides to freeze up every once in a while. So Kim, I know you're going to come back. So Jeremiah, what was that thing that made you decide that this was amazing? Okay, Kim, you're not back again. It was just a little delay. What did you say? And a visionary and an anthology. What was that you said, dear?
Yeah, what I was saying is that it's an honor and a privilege to be attached to a project that you're spearheading, because it's a gift from God, in my opinion, given that you delicately worked with my son and helped him become a first-time author. I want to be going down in the chronicles of history, being a part of something that you've spearheaded.
Thank you. I wasn't expecting that, so I'm just taking that in. Taking it in, Ivan, into my lungs, as you were saying. You know, breathe into my lungs. So Jeremiah, yes, Jeremiah, what is your final last words about watching your brother? We know that we have the Boca event. It's the first of many. And then I'm going to come back to you two, talking about CF, and we're going to put this QR code and the website up here one more time, the donation website. So Jeremiah, what comes up for you?
So with I guess everything throughout my life. I mean, my brother's been here my whole life, and he's taught me a lot. Every single game I played, I practically played with him and my other older brothers and my other friends. So, I mean, yeah, I've learned a lot from my mom and my brothers and my dad and everyone else in my life. So, especially you actually as well. So it's all been a great experience, and I can't wait to just do more, learn more, and experience more. So yeah, it's been a phenomenal experience. And
Jeremiah, guess what? You hit the nail on the head, because did you see me go like this? Anytime my nose itches, you're right. That's something from the Holy Spirit, and it's my intuition. So you were spot on, son. You were spot on, Jeremiah. I mean, to say this, because there's that book, Kim, you know that everything I ever learned, I learned from kindergarten. But how about everything I ever learned was in the pages of a book? because it's family. What you said, unity. I loved your words. I mean, when I talk about juicy words as an author, come on, Ivan, you've got that. When we were in that meditation with some people we'd never even met, and there was such a oneness and unity, and how we could just lift each other up. So what is that last final bit of wisdom that you'd like to share with our Life's Milkshake Moments audience?
Well, first of all, I'd say in regards to the meditation, I never hugged so many strangers before. It was a unique experience, and it was wonderful. But any last tips? I would say be true to yourself, of course. Always do what you can, do the best that you can in the moment, because you never know who's watching, and you never know who you can inspire through your actions right now.
And who is there as an inspiration, motivation, elevation? And we can say we just hugged the Health-a-Peaia Nation together, didn't we? So scan this QR code. Here's this donation link. Make sure that you can donate once, pass it on. Put it on your social media, pass it on. Because the life and the lungs that you may save, as you heard Ivan say, that was my one question when I knew Maria and I helped her with her weight loss. Latina, boomer esiason's son, Caucasian, African American. It doesn't discriminate. But guess what? I kept a little secret for y'all at the last, because I know the research that it's got to keep confidential that Dr. Jim Marinakis is doing. I know the research that, guess what? He has cracked the gene code. And you were meant when you said it's in the genes. It doesn't discriminate. Did you just get goosebumps, like quadruple goosebumps?
Yeah.
He has cracked the gene code. He told me Tuesday, he goes, I like those, young man. Did you need any more sea salt? I cracked the gene code. Do you just need any more sea salt on your salad? It was just so random. And I said, but that's a humble servant. That's who you're around. But Kim, guess what? If this is the chain, if you had not said yes, you didn't know me from Adam's house cat. I could have been just some fly on the wall in the Les Brown coaching. You took a chance on me and your reputation for your show. Kim, you went ahead and took a risk saying to me that I could meet Ivan from way on back. She really did, Jeremiah. She said, you've got to meet my son. I said, I'd be honored. But then, Ivan, you took a risk by going ahead and said, yes, I'm going to go in. I'm going to get fit, 120, 30 some pounds later, and no little things here, but, like six-pack abs and fit and healthy. And guess what? You didn't have to say, bro, my older bro, I'm going to come on with you. I've never gone on an airplane by myself or with a duo, not the family. You came together. So with courage is choices. And that's what Dr. Jim said. I was courageous enough. What is his quote? You heard it many times, Jeremiah and Ivan. I'm going to give it to your mom one more time, because he went against the grain and he always said yes. And his quote came from his mother, who just passed away at 98 years young. And they had her memorial service last week. And she said when she saw her son as a 24, you see how this whole thing is coming together, Ivan and Jeremiah?
Sure.
Dr. Jim was 24 years old practicing his naturopathic medical people, and they took him into the courtroom and they eviscerated him. But his clients' patients and his patients that he was helping, and his then girlfriend looked at his mother and said, how do you say these untruths about your son? I know him. And she said, no admiral proves his true self-worth in a calm sea. Wow. Ivan, Jeremiah, you are those next admirals for the next generation. You've gone against CF. You said, I've looked at that moment by moment. It can change in an instant. The lifeguard stand, the football stand, the Annie stand. And you said, no admiral proves his true worth. You are worthy. You are worthy, because together, everyone achieves more.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Really. It means a lot.
Thank you So what I'm going to say, donate now, donate often, and pass this on, because the life, as Dr. Jim says, he's cracked the gene code. We will see something happen with this, because the body, put in the right condition, can and will heal itself. Let's make this healing begin right here, right now. Thank you so much for being our guests and being together. As we said, I think you were not, I said, it's a family affair. It's a family affair. Oh, yeah. It's a family affair. Yes, sirree. Right here, right now. Let's hear it for Life's Milkshake Moments, the Jacobs Generational Edition. And it was definitely 5 flavors of ice cream, Kim.
Yeah.
It's some whipped cream, those sprinkles for Jeremiah and Ivan. And will you collectively just have the one book be the cherry on top?
Absolutely.
So next time I can say, life is like a milkshake. Choose your ingredients wisely. And when you do, life will be so sweet. Check you next time. Guess who's following next Thursday on Life's Milkshake Moment is actually Dr. Khalila Camacho Ali. See you then. And until next time, as we say, we don't say ciao for now anymore, Kim. You know what I say? Let's make it a great Health-a-Peaia kind of day. Ciao for now.